What's up, guys? I'm here with a little mini yo-yo review of two very unique yo-yos from Japan from a company called AT Design Lab Tokyo. So, AT, I reached out to AT Design Lab myself because I saw their mono series of yo-yos and was really intrigued. Their entire Instagram is set up like a yo-yo laboratory, pretty much. It's just all where they're drawing their inspiration from, why they're drawing their inspiration from that. Um, well, let's just get right into it. That's the best way to explain all this. So, the first yo yo is the Mono, MONO, stylized in all lowercase letters. So, this is what it looks like. Undersized. The first thing you'll notice is the CLYW peak style nipple. They completely lifted the nipple from the CLYW peak and put it on their yo-yo, which I think is cool personally, because they're giving credit where credit is due. If you go on their Instagram, the Mono, MONO, right here you can see is inspired by the Woolly Marmot, the Hitman Professional, and the Art Sparrow, or the Art Junior. So they took the specs of those three yo-yos and combined them into this. So that nipple, you have the nipple, you have the rim design. If you go on their Instagram, they go into everything about the rim design. Look at this. You see all the different rims. They tried a Chief style rim. They tried a fragment, Yo-Yo Recreation fragment style, an art triptych style, an art grail style. They prototyped all this stuff. And they ended up with, I believe, what is a CLYW Woolly Marmot style rim. So a big, fat rim, angular, really cool looking. The guts are interesting. These use CLYW size snow tires, so a larger pad than 19 millimeter, which, if you watch my episode of Collection of Goods with Tyler Severance, Dunk Dynasty, where we go through all the dunks, you will have learned that I originally wanted to use snow tires in the dunk. It provides a different style of response, a little grippier, a little more old school. You'll also notice the huge schmoove ring. I believe they lifted this from art releases, the Junior and the Sparrow, maybe the Canvas. I'm not really sure if the Canvas has a schmoove ring, but it allows you to have a high wall style yo-yo without losing too much performance. Schmoove rings are really cool. Doc Pop came up with them for the End yo-yo, which was a modified Eats It, and it makes a lot of sense. It's less surface area for your string to rub on, so it's pretty simple. This yo-yo is really cool. The last feature I'll talk about is the finish. The finish is unlike anything on the market today. It's a super heavy blast, but it's super soft. It doesn't break strings. In my experience, I haven't had any issues with string wear. It's very close, and it also, they mentioned, draws inspiration from Anti-O's slip mat finish, which is something every yo-yo company should be trying to replicate. But since we all get our yo-yos from the same factories overseas, we all get the same finishes more or less. You're either getting that one drop finish or you're getting the Chinese finish, which is whatever you get, some sort of blast. But this they clearly got done custom. I don't know where these are manufactured. I assume in China, but it's possible they're manufactured in Japan. I don't know the price point on these either. I can find out real quick. But The finish is incredible. Smooth grinds. I think it's going to wear down over time, which is always a cool feature because it is such a heavy blast. And the colors. I mean, the colorways they chose, I think there's only one colorway you can get. It's a half swap silver and dark gray, like a gunmetal gray and a nice clean silver. And it carries over through all their yo-yos, which we'll get into next. But this is the Mono, M-O-N-O, all lowercase. Woolly Marmot inspired yo-yo for sure. Undersized. A lot of fun. But I think performance-wise, I prefer its bigger brother, the Mono, M-O-N-O, capital M, capital N. So M, lowercase o, N, lowercase o. So this is same colorway, like I said, which I think is a cool feature. A larger diameter, wider, and the shape is just subtly different. Whereas this has more of a rounded body to a flat rim. This has more of an angular body up to a flat rim. So the bigger Mono still keeps the same nipple and pretty much the same rim design. That same CLYW style. Let's see the price point on these real quick. The Mono series. Here's just some of their copy. One design, but wide size variety. Our first collection is Mono series in 2021. Concept is from collection to selection. At Design Lab, we would like to propose a new way to enjoy your yo-yo life. We love the CLYW Peak, the Yo-Yo Jam Hitman, and other classic yo-yo designs with great respect to them. Mono series are inspired by these classic designs. They have one traditional shape, but there are several variations in diameter from 50, 52, 54, and 56. You can choose the best diameter from this variation. So the idea is they're just tweaking their one design, and their one design is inspired by a couple classic yo-yos. So they mentioned the high wall that I mentioned with the schmoove ring, and they are emphasizing the stable weight distribution, which is definitely true. I didn't mention that, but you can see on both of these, their inner hub lifts, has almost a secondary nipple. The nipple and then the inner hub is not perfectly flat. It's lifted. So that adds some center weight and some stability. They're extremely solid feeling yo-yos when you play with them. And they are extremely old school feeling yo-yos when you play with them. If you buy these expecting the performance is modern, but the feel is 2007, 2008, 2009 maybe. I don't know how else to describe them, but that's I've had these for a couple months now. And they have grown on me, but they are weird. They are weird yo-yos. They feel like a yo-yo that came out in the early 2010s. They do not feel like anything else I've used lately. They're very fun. They aren't something you're going to compete with necessarily. You could. It's just like the Dunk. You absolutely could. The performance is there, but the feel is so old school and so fun and different that this is a casual playing yo-yo. So again, they mentioned the Ultimate Matte Smooth coating, obviously inspired by the Slip Matte Anti-Yo coating. So the lineup, they got the MONO that we're talking about here with the capital M and capital N. Only 100 pieces they made, one-time production. So these are pretty limited. These are 1 of 100, which in itself is pretty cool. 100 sounds like a lot, but it's not for a run of yo-yos at all. It's not the minimum. People have run smaller runs, but generally 100 is a small run. 54.5 millimeters in diameter, 42 millimeters in width. 65.7 grams, 4.2 millimeter gap. So it comes with a 10 ball concave bearing, and it has those snow tire pads, 14 millimeter pads, or 21. Or one, are they? Okay, no, outer diameter 21 instead of 19. Yeah. There's my buddy, my co-host, Barreled. Say hello, Barreled. Say hello to Barreled, everyone. They call it space gray. It's like Apple, silver and space gray. And they call their coating the smooth Ulti-Matte coating. So, design reference is from the base design shape is the CLYW Peak, and the rim design and weight distribution refer to the Yo-Yo Jam Hitman, which I'm not sure I necessarily agree or understand that. I think this is CLYW all the way. The Hitman is a heavily rim-weighted yo-yo, and there's not much center weight that I can remember, although it is a very stable yo-yo, so I might be wrong on that, but my opinion is this is much closer in performance to a CLYW Peak than anything else. So then we have the mono. I just want to, in case I missed anything, we'll see what they say about the little lowercase mono. Also 100 pieces, and this one has a 50.3 millimeter diameter, a 40 millimeter width, and it's only 61.8 grams. So, much smaller, same bearing, same pads, same colors, same coating. Design reference of this one, base design shape is the CLYW Woolly Marmot. So we basically have a peak and a woolly marmot. Rim design from a Hitman Professional and the Art Junior. So yeah, this is, the Art Junior is basically a canvas from what I understand, or very similar. And the Sparrow is basically the same as the Junior from what I understand. So this rim, earlier I said it was like a woolly marmot. I guess it is, looking at a photo of a woolly marmot, but it's definitely beefier and more like a Art Yo-Yo's rim. I think they took the woolly marmot and modified it to become the canvas, and I think they took the canvas and modified it to become the Sparrow and the Junior. So that makes a lot of sense. This is a lightweight at 61 grams. I'm not going to use the term floaty, but it is a faster moving, easier to move, controllable, smaller, fun yo-yo like the Junior or the Sparrow is to me. Whereas this is much beefier, much more like a Peak, and much more old school feeling. Of the two, they both feel like older yo-yos, but this big Peak one feels much older school when I'm playing with it. Partly because of the size, I think, but just the weight distribution and the weight. I enjoy both. If I had to pick one, honestly, it's really hard. They complement each other well. So I think their design philosophy really worked in that sense. They're making yo-yos that are the same but different. And I think one of their philosophies too is trying to show people the difference a few millimeters or a few grams can make, which is so true and something I learned from dealing with the dunk and prototyping dunks and things like that. A gram can make a huge difference. We did this one, Static and I, Static Co., got some prototypes made by One Drop for a Flux reissue we're trying to do, which we're still is in the works. And we got 3 prototypes done with a gram difference between them. I think they're 65, 66, and 67. Something like that. And I play with all 3. I still do. And it's just, I do it as a study for like trying to feel the difference a gram can make, and it is so noticeable. They play like different yo-yos. So that's sort of what they're doing here with just minor tweaks, minor changes, but these are two completely different yo-yos. I grab them when I'm in two completely different moods. I would say this one, the big one, I'm pointing at the small one. The big one is more of a traditional playing. For my speed and pace of play, I like to use this one more often. But if I want to get a little faster and a little more fun, a little more abstract, less mount-to-mount tricks, and more yo-yo movement-based tricks, I'll reach for the little one, the mono. I like the mono more than the mono. Let's put it that way. So, future release, they have a 56 millimeter Yo-Yo Jam Dark Magic inspired, all caps when you say the man's name, mono coming out. So, an even bigger version of this one where it'll be called the mono, but all capital letters. That one I'm looking forward to. And they have another one too. So, that's the one I knew about. A Dark Magic inspired, and they're already teasing it on their Instagram. So go give them a follow. AT Design Tokyo, all one word. Dark Magic, it makes a lot of sense. They already had the Hitman, the Peak. Now they're referencing the Dark Magic, another absolute banger classic of a yo-yo. And they have the mono, capital M, lowercase O-N-O, coming out, which is a 52 millimeter reference to the Night Moves 5. I am very interested what they're going to do with that, because the Night Moves is I guess the 5 is a little bit of an organic yo-yo. The original Night Moves are straight V-shapes. So the Night Moves 5 was one of the first bimetals. It was plastic hub, aluminum ring, and copper ring, I think, or something like that. It had two rings on it and a plastic hub. It was a crazy yo-yo. So, the mono, and mono. Mono. Lots of monos coming from AT Design Tokyo. Full disclosure, this was a trade, as usual, for my reviews and for yo-yos in general that I get. I traded some dunks for these. I promised a review, and this is my review. I think they're cool as hell. I look forward to seeing more from them. Some criticism I've heard is they're just copying the Peak. They're just bootleg CLYWs. I can see that criticism when you're just looking at photos of them. When you play with them, it's clear that a lot of work went into these designs. When you talk to the guy, I don't know his name, I feel bad, but the guy over at AT Design Lab, he's passionate about yo-yos. He's excited about them, and he's just drawing inspiration and giving credit where credit is due, and I think that's okay, and I think we're all making yo-yos here. They're all going to be inspired by other yo-yo designs. In my Dunk Dynasty video, check it out on Recess International's YouTube channel. I go into the 3 yo-yos that inspired the Dunk. I straight up lifted the rim from a Corco Cubit and stuck it on my yo-yo. I took the bubble from the Good Life Gully and stuck it on my yo-yo. I mashed up yo-yos to make it. Brian Koski, the Wave, same deal. He lifted the inner hub from the Creep, the rim from this, the other thing from that. He mashed up yo-yos to make his new yo-yo, the Wave, sold out, except Static Co. Big Cartel, I think it is. Go check them out. Buy one if you haven't already. Great yo-yo. I have one right here. The Wave. So similar. Got the flat ring. Anyway, it's not uncommon to reference other classic yo-yos in your design at all. It's normal. I think as long as you're giving credit where credit is due, it's fine. These are not bootlegs. These are their own thing. They play different enough. I don't have a Peak to compare it to particularly, but I used to have Peaks. I remember how they play. This plays better than an original Peak, obviously. Here it is next to a freehand. I always like to do a freehand comparison. Slightly smaller. And here it is next to a titanium dunk. Almost the same exact diameter. Dunk's a little wider. I would check him out. I think they might be sold out, but if you hit him up, he might have some extras. And if not, there's the mono all caps coming out soon. The Dark Magic inspired one I think is going to be awesome. And I'm really looking forward to seeing that Night Moves inspired one as well. So AT Design Lab Tokyo. Some cool yo-yos. The mono series. I like what they're doing. I like the idea of it. I'm going to continue to support them and collect the whole series. They're really cool. I wish more yo-yo companies would do stuff like this. Like, I've been saying it forever. Someone needs to make an 888 straight up. I think Yo-Yo Factory's doing it, so whatever. It's done. But a new 888 modern guts, same yo-yo. Someone needs to do it with the Hitman, a brand new Hitman. Same shape, same size, same weight, new modern guts. Someone should do it with, the iYoyo sort of did it with the Spin Master and the Night Moose. I love that. I think it's great. So bring back more old designs, get inspired by older designs, and release something unique instead of just releasing something new and pretending it's new when it's everything. Like I said, everything. It's yo-yos. They're all round spinning objects. They're all inspired by each other. You can draw a line from any yo-yo design to another yo-yo design and say, like, well, it looks a lot like this. It's just the nature of them. There's not that much you can do. We've done a lot. So check these out. I recommend them. I think they're cool as hell. Definitely a unique spot in my collection. Fun to look at, fun to hold, and they do play different. I think if you're a newer player, you're gonna get a little taste of what yo-yos used to play like back in the day. The distribution, just the weight distribution and the feel, just harkens back to older yo-yos for me personally. So unique, interesting. Check them out. And thank you for watching this. I hope I didn't ramble on too long, but I appreciate everyone who watches these. Please follow me on Instagram at Jake Bullock Yo-Yo, and please like and subscribe to my YouTube. I'm trying to get this YouTube going a little bit, and I want to keep creating content for you all. So if you keep watching, I'll keep making it. Thank you. Have a good one.